Okay, so the long problem with the hydrostatic lock is now fixed, and I'll run through exactly what had to be done. But finally the ZZR is back on the road. As you can see in front of me, the 14 has got both its wheels off at the moment because it's having the wheels resprayed, and also new tyres fitted, Conti Sport Attack 4s. The old ones aren't worn, there's still lots of life, but I don't really like them much. Okay, so I'm going to take the ZZR out down the freeway. Just go down, meet up a friend, have a cup of coffee. But alright, and I'll fill you in on what happened. So good to have it back. Okay, so let's run through what happened. So, as I stated in another video, replaced so many items because of the hydrostatic lock. And one of the items I replaced was a fuel pump with an American-made one. Can't remember the name of it. I'll put it in the notes for the video. So the bike was running, but when you rolled off the throttle and then rolled on the throttle, it stuttered and hesitated, and also the tick over was wildly erratic. So what did we do? Well, to be honest, it was a puzzler. You know, I've said before, I don't really get involved in too much of the carburetor stuff. I'm not that, well, let's say I understand my limitations when it comes to that. So, the mechanic that I use, great guy, he worked for days and days and days and did everything that, you know, we should do to sort out the fuel, but he couldn't find anything wrong. But what he did find was that the coils, the spark from the coils was not so good. So I purchased a set of Dyna coils or something, not cheap. And they were supposed to be for the ZZR 1100, but of course they were too big to fit in the original position, so we had to move them and locate them forward of where the normal coil position is. Also, the leads supplied with it were no good, so we kept the original leads. Anyway, the spark was fixed. Oh, great. And then all back together again, and the damn thing still wasn't running right. I mean, we're really scratching our heads now. And I think I already mentioned to you that I had a new fuel pump, again from the States, about $50 or so, so about half the price of one from Kawasaki, but still a quality item, lots of good reviews and such. Now, the mechanic felt that it was still basically a fuel supply issue, so he wanted to try the fuel pump that was fitted for the hydrostatic lock which I'd replaced because we think the seals had gone. Anyway, we fitted the original one, and lo and behold, everything worked fine. Ran perfectly. And now, looking back on it, what I should have done, you see the fuel pump that Kawasaki used is made by Mitsubishi. And you can buy them online from Mitsubishi, and they're much cheaper than getting them from Kawasaki. I didn't do that. Hey, so I bought this one from the States, and anyway, now it appears that it wasn't supplying the fuel correctly. So after many weeks, quite a lot of money, the ZZR is now back, as you can see. So I'm very, very happy. And you know, one of the things with the hydrostatic lock, yes, seals had degraded and allowed fuel to pass, but also I think I wasn't using the bike as much as I should. You know, I bought the ZX14R to reduce the amount of time I was using the ZZR11, because I just wanted to share some of the load, if you know what I mean. So, because I thought that maybe I want to just reduce the amount of mileage I was doing. But actually it would seem that that's not a great idea. Like most bikes, they like to be used, they don't like to be sitting around. So what am I going to change? Well, I found now a fuel. There's one fuel here in the Philippines that doesn't have E10, so I'm going to use that fuel almost exclusively. The problem is not every gas station sells it. But where possible, I'm going to use it to help negate the impact of the E10, which at the end of the day was the root cause of the initial problem. And the problem is, as always, as often the case, when something goes wrong with a bike, it leads to other issues, and that's what happened in this case. But now I hope everything is going to be good. Now, she sounds wonderful, she's reacting to the throttle wonderful. Oh. Kawasaki power. Oh yes, the engine. I mean, I during this whole process, it was difficult to get the fuel out of the oil. In the end, I ended up doing 3 oil changes. Which doesn't come cheap. Oil and filter changes, of course. Oh yeah, let's go. Oh, I've missed it so much. There is nothing like a ZZR11 Under load. Oh, what do we got up here? A bike. Bike who doesn't use his indicators, as always. I don't understand why they don't use their indicators. Ah, he does. He must have heard me. Something or other. Not sure what it was, but okay, what's going on here? Oh yes, it really is running straight now. And I'm lucky the weather's we're in the rainy season here now, so weather's been a bit iffy, but it looks like I have a clear morning. Da 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 da. I love my ZZR. It really does feel so good to have her back. Good. Instant response from the throttle. I think those uprated coils are partly responsible for that. Okay, what's going on here? Okay. Right. Alright, let's shoot through there. Well, this is a pain in the butt, but I expected it, to be honest. It's you know, it's a Sunday. She's pulling so well and feels so sweet. The ZZR is back. So I'm off to meet a friend of mine. He's got a 1991C ZZR11. There's actually a YouTube video of his bike when basically it was turned into a carbon fiber bike. The guy who had it before my friend, he had a habit of always modifying everything, sometimes for the worse, sometimes for the better, but it's almost like a mental disease. You know, even if something was perfect, he'd want to change it. Anyway, he decided to turn this ZZR11 into all carbon fiber. And not purchase ready-made panels to do it all himself. And the result was okay, but it's now looking a little tired. So some of the carbon is now being replaced with original bodywork. But it's taking time. The problem at the moment is, again, my friend doesn't ride it enough, so he's having a problem with it running at the moment. It runs, but not very well. So anyway, so I'm going to meet him. He'll be going in his car, I suspect. You know, talk about the normal things that guys do, you know, bikes, maybe some women, you know, normal thing. One thing I have noticed recently on the Speedo, it tends to move around a lot. I don't know whether it's where in the Speedo drive or the Speedo cable itself, or more worryingly, whether it's the actual instrument. I have to investigate that. You see now it jumps around. Oh, there's a bumpy old road, this one. You see the metal on the road there? That's the expansion joint. It's really, really dangerous. A few years ago, a guy on a Goldwing hit that and it threw him off, killed him, unfortunately. We don't tend to have expansion joints, or at least I've not seen them shaped like that in the West. We tend to have expansion joints across the road. So it's a bit strange, but obviously there's a reason for it. But you've got to be so careful of them, particularly at night or in the wet. If you're on them and you brake hard and it's wet, well, you're gone. Okay. Looks a bit cloudy, it may get wet, but I don't care. I like riding in the rain, actually. Going good. You got to watch that oil in the middle of the road. If you drive on it, everything locks up. It's a nightmare. They never seem to clean it. Okay, so we're now in Santa Rosa Laguna. She's looking pretty dark, or it could be because I've got the dark visor down. Well, the bike is running absolutely perfectly. Oh, good. Oh, just sounds glorious.